Hello, I'm James, amateur radio call sign WA7JNJ, and I'm taking a couple days off work midweek, late September, to head over to Winthrop Mazama area and play some summits on the air and parks on the air and just get out and explore. And so excited to enjoy the last of, quote, the summer here before the weather turns. Excited to be heading over the North Cascades Highway. This is a gorgeous spot to stop at the Diablo Lake Overlook. And glad the Highway 20 is open. It was closed a little while this summer for fire, so it changed some of our family summer plans, but glad to get over here. It's gorgeous and a great little stop along the way. Highly recommend you explore at the North Cascades and heading over this highway. Again, excited to get a couple days off of work and explore. So thanks for watching, and join me on this little adventure in Mazama, Winthrop, and see where we end up. All right, well, drove up the road to Lookout Mountain near Twisp, and excited to do this summit for the first time. Should be about 2.5 miles round trip and 1,100 feet of gain. The road was 6 miles once you turned off the main road, so the gravel road part. And the last 2 miles were not too bad, a little bit rougher, probably on the edge of what my new used RAV4 I would want it to do, but it made it fine. There's a small parking area at the trailhead, and even on a colder midweek September day, there's actually a couple cars here. So a few folks also hiking to the summit. So let's get to the summit. I'm definitely glad to be on the summit of Lookout Mountain, a great hike. Ran into a few folks along the way. Ran into someone who said there was a few snowflakes when she was driving up earlier today. Weather's getting better. Looks like it's gonna hold out, but I'm gonna try and make this pretty quick and see, hopefully things clear up a little bit later this afternoon and tomorrow. I'm gonna set up pretty quickly here and use the 2040 linked end fin antenna. It's a PackTenna. And try and make some contacts on 40 meter for local, at least Washington, Oregon, and then 20 meter and maybe more bands if I've got time and depending on how the weather's doing. So let's get set up and make some contacts. Set the HF up. I tried to spot, but for some reason not getting through the internet, so might have to restart my phone. Try and make a few contacts on 5.2 and see if anyone's local. I did talk to somebody on the way up, so hopefully they're out there, and make some contacts quick. I'm just watching the weather to the west of me and would love to make it faster rather than slower. So let's get to this. This is WA7JNJ up on Lookout Mountain. Any station listening on 5.2?
WA7JNJ, this is KN6 UMV in Winthrop. Read you loud and clear.
Kilo 7, November Delta Yankee. You caught me off guard there. You're 5'9" up here on Lookout Mountain near Twisp.
Whiskey, Alpha 7, Juliet, November, Juliet. Awesome. You are probably a 5 and 7, 5 and 8 in here in Pelsado, northwest corner of Washington. And are you at a park or are you doing summits?
I'm doing both. Summits on the air, it's Whiskey 7 Whiskey Oscar Kilo dash 161, and parks on the air is Kilo 4531.
Do you want me to spot you on POTA? Are you going to be there for a bit?
I would love you to spot me on POTA. That would be awesome. On 7227, that would be awesome.
You're considered done. Give me a minute.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. 73WA7JNJ up on Lookout Mountain, doing a park in the air and summit on the air. Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November, Juliet. Restarted my phone, so we'll see if I can actually spot up here, but really appreciate John throwing a spot out for me. Thank you. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Summits on the air, Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November, Juliet.
November Echo 7, Echo Tango, Oscar Tango. Whiskey Bravo 6, Papa, Oscar Tango. Kilo Juliet 7, Lima, Lima Sierra. Whiskey Uniform 7, Hotel. November Charlie Mike. Kilo 7, November Charlie Mike. November 7, Uniform, November. Call again. Whiskey, Whiskey 7, Delta. November Whiskey 7, Echo. Kilo Foxtrot 7, Juliet, Sierra Zulu Yankee. Whiskey X-Ray 7, Oscar Romeo. November 7, Sierra Zulu Yankee. K3OG. K6 Yankee Kilo. Kilo 7, Sierra Sierra.
Move to 15 meter. I'm going to try and get a park contact on 15. CQ Summits on the air, CQ Parks on the air, Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November, Juliet.
Whiskey 9, Mike Radio Hotel.
Kilo Foxtrot 9 Delta. Whiskey 0 Mike, November Alpha.
Good morning. Foxtrot 4, Whiskey Bravo November. You're 5/7. I-7 in France.
November 5, Whiskey Kilo Mike.
November 5, Whiskey Kilo Mike, you're 5959.
Roger, have you 5-7 here into southeast Texas. Hope you're having a good day up there and enjoying things.
I'm having a blast. The weather's not as warm as I was hoping for, but really appreciate being outside and enjoying the outdoors before the weather gets worse.
I know what you mean. So you have a great day and appreciate you being out there.
QSL 73 WA7JNJ up on Lookout Mountain and calling CQ Parks on the air.
Whiskey Bravo 9, November Delta Golf.
Kilo Charlie 3, Oscar Papa.
Victor Kilo 4, November Hotel. Victor Kilo 4, November Hotel. You are 4/1. 4/1, over. 7-3, take care, have a great day.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you, Chasers, just for all the local folks on 40 and all the other bands around the U.S. and even France and then Australia. That was amazing, and also got 2 bands that I was looking to get for the N1CC Award, where you get make contacts on 10 bands at 10 parks. So this is my 8th park to do that. I'm gonna get off the mountain watching the weather. At least the sun came out, but try and get to another summit here depending on the weather and how the day goes. But let's keep exploring. Well, it's about 4 o'clock and I'm trying to get to Leecher Mountain. There's a lookout here and it's a short hike, about 500 feet of gain and 3 miles or so round trip. I've done it before, so figured I would try and see if I could at least get up there in the roads in this in the RAV4. It's definitely a ways to drive, but so far the roads have been in really great shape. And I just remember there being one little section a few years ago that was a little bit rougher, so hopefully that'll be fine and get up there and cross my fingers that maybe the gate is open. I heard some reports that it was. Last time it wasn't. I hiked again. It wasn't too bad of a hike, but I think the sun's going to go down here. Crossing my fingers that was the rough section. I believe that it was. Overall, this road has been really good to Leecher. It's in great shape, been able to move pretty well. I've actually liked the road here better so far than the road to Lookout. The last 2 miles to Lookout was a little bit more narrow and rough and just went slow, not a lot of room to turn around. So far, this road's been still pretty wide. There's just that one section that was rough. Of course, this is getting narrower here. So we will see how it goes. Besides avoiding the cows, that's been the main thing. It's still a little bit cold. The good news is I did get up to the gate here to hike up to Leecher, so it says 1.2 miles. To the summit, it'll be about 500 feet of gain. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, the sun goes down at 7, so I'm going to try and do this pretty quick, and at least I've got some lights and things with me as I need. So let's get to Leecher, and hopefully the rain will hold off here. CQ Summits on the air, Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November Juliet.
Whiskey 7 Delta.
Whiskey 7 Delta. Thank you, Daryl, for chasing this evening.
Yeah, no problem, James. Thanks for activating. You're doing all the hard work there. You are, I think you're like a 5'7", really nice signal here in Redmond.
QSL, I've got you 5'9" for signal, so thank you so much, Daryl. Yeah, the sun starting to peek out a little bit. I think the weather's starting to look better.
Well, good luck, have fun, safe trip back and all that. WA7JNJ, WW7D, good luck.
Thank you so much, Daryl 73, Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November Juliet, calling CQ Summits on the air.
Whiskey Uniform 7 Hotel. Whiskey 6, Echo American Bravo. November 7, Uniform, November. November 7, November Whiskey Tango. November 7, Charlie, November Hotel.
Well, thank you again so much for all the contacts on a late afternoon activation. Wasn't quite sure I was going to get here in the vehicle, but was able to make it and put out an alert as soon as I could, and then some spots. So great to hear a lot of voices and all the folks who came back for the SOTA activation and squeaked out enough to get a POTA activation as well. It was also great to make a few contacts on 2 meter, and so always good to do that. So thank you for those chases. Well, let's head back and get to camp. Well, good morning at 6:45, and slept in the back of the RAV4 last night. I think first time sleeping in the back of a vehicle. A little uncomfortable, but at least it may not have been as cold and hearing the wind and things like that last night. I would love to go to Tiffany Mountain. It's a 10-point summit and a pretty straightforward hike. but the road reports haven't been good. It sounded like there were some sections that were washed out, so not sure I want to try that. It's quite a ways out there. I think I'm going to explore a little bit around Mazama this morning and may try and hit a new summit, or at least explore. Let's explore a little bit more today and before I head back tonight. Well, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and on Flagg Mountain. Excited to be able to drive the RAV4 up to the gate. You can park below, and it's about a mile, or a little over a mile hike. Not too bad, but able to park near the gate and just a very short little walk and maybe 100 feet of gain to get to the summit here. Just set up the 40-20 linked end fed again from PackTenna. I'm gonna place them radio here for a little bit and then do some more exploring. It's a great little spot just near Mazama here. It's an easy summit, about 6 miles off the main road down there. The gravel road's in pretty good condition. I've driven cars up this before and not too bad. And it's actually on the way to Goat Peak. So I don't think I'm gonna do Goat Peak today. I've done that a few times, and there is a video on my channel, both with more information on Goat Peak and also on Flagg Mountain if you wanna check those out. Let's make some contacts and keep exploring today. CQ, 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 summits on the air, Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November, Juliet.
November 0, Whiskey Alpha Echo. Whiskey Bravo 6, Papa Oscar Tango. November Whiskey 7 Echo. Whiskey 0 Mike, November Alpha.
CQ summits on the air, CQ parks on the air, Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November, Juliet. I'm up on Flagg Mountain just above Mazama.
And 07RF.
WA7JNJ, this is KN6UMB.
Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November, Juliet. 5 and 5 here, 55, 5 by 5. Thank you for the summit to summit, 73.
It's kind of interesting. I'm seeing a lot of interference on 40 meter. I know they upgraded the tower here, and I'm wondering if there's some interference, because scrolling up and down the band, there's just it sounds pretty crazy.
Whiskey 6, Papa Zulu Alpha.
Well, it's about 9:30, and thank you so much for all the chasers today. Great to make contacts. The day's getting warmer. It's looking a whole lot nicer than yesterday, so I'm gonna head back to the car and try and find another summit, or at least somewhere else to explore. Well, it's kind of funny, first time driving this RAV4 off-road and putting it through its paces. It helps to remember there is a rock dirt mode, so switch that on, and that sure feels a lot better. Not sure if it's in my head or not, but it feels a little bit better on some of these roads. I'm on a forest road heading north of where I just was, and just trying to see how the road is to Sweetgrass Butte. And so let's keep driving and exploring some of these roads. All right, was driving for a while here. But was able to get on the road to Sweetgrass Butte and go on that for a little bit. And there is a spot here that I've pulled off I'd like to try to get to a summit that hasn't been activated before, straight east of me, and heading up there looked like there was a spot approaching it from the east, but this spot from the west looked good, and then it was on this main road, and then it looks like there's a short segment I can hike through cross country and get to another road that's on the back side. So hoping that works out. It looks like there might be a cow track or something here going for a little bit, so at least see if that's going to work out. Alright, I'm really excited. I found the road. Not too bad. There's a little bit of a sort of trail, not really, but that I found on and off. But got to the road not too bad, and actually I see the road going all the way, I believe, to the summit. So at least it should be a road walk, and then the road should be right near the activation zone. Cross our fingers. This looks like the high point of the road, not quite in the activation zone. I need to go up about 100 feet or so. So start the short little walk up the section here. Is the frequency in use WA7 J&J? CQ Summit's on the air. I'm at High Pass Mountain. It's the first activation of this summit, north of Mazama. This is Whiskey Alpha 7, Juliet, November Juliet, calling CQ Summit's on the air.
KI6LWC.
Kilo 7, Alpha Golf Lima.
Summit, this is Whiskey Juliet 7. Whiskey Juliet.
Josh, Whiskey Uniform 7 Hotel.
Yeah, hey James, I heard Bill calling you for the S2S there, so I was standing by. Congratulations on your 600 points and the first activation there. Nice work. You're about a 5x4, 5x4 here back in Seattle. K7JRO/Victor Echo 7. Summit to summit.
November Echo 7, Echo Tango.
Whiskey Bravo 6, Papa Oscar Tango. Kilo 7 Tango Papa Hotel. Whiskey 7 Delta. November 7 Papa Mike Bravo. Kilo 6 Echo Lima.
Summit to summit, summit to summit.
Kilo X-ray 0 Romeo. Kilo X-ray 0 Romeo. Summit to summit. Whiskey 0 Mike, November Alpha. Whiskey 0 Mike, November Alpha.
Well, grateful to be back. Wasn't sure I was going to be able to get to this one, but was able to find the roads here on the west side, and then that little short stint. It was about a little over 3.5 miles total, and 700 feet of gain total, walking back and forth. So pretty great spot. There is a road on the other side. I saw some tracks coming up the road. So if you've got four-wheel drive, there's probably another way you can get approaching it from the east, and would love to hear if anyone does that and finds another way to get there. But if you're in a RAV4 or crossover or something like that, I would probably recommend this route. So, well, thanks for joining me today. I think I'm going to head about the hour or so back down these roads and head into town. Well, back in Winthrop after a couple of days of exploring and get some ice cream here at Sherry's in town, and just reflecting on the last 2 days of exploring. Excited to get to 4 summits, 2 of which I had not been before, 1 of which was a new activation, our first activation for the summit. Was also great to activate the park from those different locations and get 10 or maybe 11 bands now from the Okanogan Park as part of the N1CC award. So thank you so much, Chasers, for just making it a fun adventure through all the summits and the park. Some reminders about safety along the way. Always good to have your maps downloaded and all those things ready. I had the repeaters in the radio to make sure I could contact folks around here if I needed to. And then also a reminder about driving slower at night. I almost hit a deer and I was going under the speed limit quite a bit. Somebody passed me another time and went around me and almost hit that deer as I was slowing down another time. So you got to drive slow over here if you're exploring at night. It was fun to get out and adventure a little bit in the RAV4 after having the Corolla and a larger SUV and be able to test that out a little bit. Getting a little bit more confident with it. It's not a 4x4, but it got me to the trails I needed to. And I should remember that it has rock and dirt mode, so I'll remember that it worked better. But fun to get out and put that through some paces this weekend to do some exploring. I definitely do need some all-terrain tires for it, and that's something I need to add to the list. It was just an amazing time to get away and enjoy the last bit of quote-unquote summer here before the weather turns, and hope it inspires you to get out and explore some more, activate some summits or activate some parks, and just take some time to get away. Thanks so much for watching. 73 WA7 J&J.